Okay, so classic interview questions coming at you. Some of your fans may not know your sort of origin story. How did you get into having a YouTube channel? How did you get into being sort of a cultural critic? Um, was it always just, you'd watch, shows and movies and you're like, wow, this really pisses me off. And then it sort of built up to a boiling point, or, was it always part of your sort of dream?
Yeah, I'll try and give the short version of this because the reality is kind of long-winded. But it was probably like back in the earlier days of YouTube that I first started doing this. I was just messing around, really. I wanted to learn about video editing, all that stuff. It was probably like 10 years ago that I started doing it. And I was just doing little reviews of movies, that sort of thing. Because I was really interested in storytelling. It was something I'd always enjoyed doing. And so I thought I can combine those two things. I can start talking about the story structure of movies and all that sort of thing. But then my writing career took off. I got my first publishing deals. And so I kind of left YouTube behind, put it on the back burner for many years so I could focus on writing books. But then probably, around about 2017, 2018, man, I just started to get really unhappy with the state of entertainment. I think we've all talked about this sort of thing before, but the change that we started to notice in how the movies that we used to love are now shown to us, and a lot of the ways it was kind of spoiling older franchises and the things that we'd grown up with. And I just thought I really wanted to be part of that. I wanted to be part of that discussion. And I thought maybe I can use some of the things I've learned about writing and story structure and all that stuff and try and bring that in and get back into it again. And so I did. It didn't really go anywhere because I only had a few hundred subscribers. I didn't have a channel. And it wasn't until I started, I got drunk one day and just kind of did a recording like that, and just decided, right, I'm not going to be serious about any of this stuff. I'm just going to have fun with it and take the piss out of it. And it happened to be that I was talking about Captain Marvel, I think, and all the stuff going on around
Wow.
that. And it just took off. It exploded. And before I knew it, that video had like 1 million views and I had like tens of thousands of subscribers, like within a matter of days almost.
Holy cow.
It just went from there. So
I mean,
I thought, well, this works.
If anybody is worthy of thousands of subscribers and all that rage, it's definitely Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so much. It did so terribly that they change, like they changed the name of the sequel. It was going to be like Captain Marvel 2, and they're calling it like what, the freaking
The
Extremists or
Marvels.
something. The Marvel.
Yeah, it's The Marvels because it's so marvelous.
The Extremist would be the movie they make about like everybody on Friday Night Tights. Or like me, you, like everybody who's like pro freedom.
Yeah, it's like just speaking our minds and having a laugh, like, oh, these people must be stopped.
Yeah. Wow. So it was Brie Larson that finally brought out that first video from you.
That was it, yeah, and it worked great. And just I thought, well, if this is the thing that people enjoy, then that's what I'll keep doing. And so it's just gone from there. And as it happens, there's been an awful lot that I can talk about in terms of like all these different movies that have been badly handled. So yeah, it's done really well, and that's kind of how the channel's grown. And now we're at what, 850,000 subscribers. So
wow, yeah. You're crushing it, and you got a lot of fans in the chat. Did you go to school? Like, did you go to school for writing? Did you always want to be an author? Did you, or
no, I never went to a single creative writing course. Never got any real formal qualifications in any of that stuff. I just kind of, I guess, learned on the job. And I think a lot of the time you learn just by observing. You see other writers, other movies, other storytellers, and you pick up things that work really well, and you gradually start to bring that into your own work. And so, yeah, I just kind of taught myself, I suppose.
Yeah. Who were your inspirations as far as like storytelling and I guess craft goes?
I mean, I grew up like when I was reading books and really got into literature and stuff, like it was always fantasy novels that I was into. So like it would be things like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. Like I love that idea. especially when it's things like fantasy or science fiction, where it's none of it's based in the real world. It's just entirely the author that came up with this, the whole universe, the world, all the characters in it. And I was always fascinated with that idea that you can just take something that just started off in your head, just this little idea for a story, and turn it into this great sprawling epic that thousands or millions of people all around the world can buy into and really get absorbed in. And that was the kind of thing that inspired me. I think that got me into storytelling, because it's just the greatest thing you can do. Really, is like it's a real expression of art and creativity.
It's exactly that. Yeah, it's creativity. And it's like no wonder. And I'm triggered by all this too, but it's no wonder that in your work, like you're so triggered by this trend going on right now, which is basically taking advantage of nostalgia, taking advantage of kind of established storylines just for the fan base, just for the sort of like automatic audience, and then kind of ruining the stories. It makes sense for why you're like, no, it's this the story is most important. Like, why not just create a brand new story? Why prey upon people's emotions? Well, we know why they do that, but it seems really unjust.
Yeah, I mean, what you get now is just it's the same tiresome cycle that just keeps repeating over and over. Like they'll take some favorite franchise or series or whatever, and they'll say, "Hey, well, we're going to reboot it, or we're going to give it a modern twist, or a new way of looking at things," and then they'll just use that as an excuse to pump in all of their political views, all their ideology, all that crap that just absolutely kills the enjoyment of things. And then when the fans of the original work start saying, no, this is not what we used to enjoy about it. You're perverting something that used to be really good and you're turning it into a divisive disaster. They then get labeled as being toxic and they can't move with the times and they can't accept new things. And it just starts another round of arguments and frustration from everyone, and it just happens over and over again. And it's just like, I don't know how you get out of this cycle, but man, it's destroying the entertainment industry little by little.
Do you ever feel like overall kind of beaten down by it all? Or do you feel like there are enough kind of like, I hate saying the word allies because I feel like that's such like a leftist word, but like there are enough kind of,
Yeah.
oh God, they've ruined so many words for me. Do you feel like there are enough, like, I guess kind of like YouTubers and like fellow uh, culture critic influencer types that feel the same way so that you don't end up losing your mind?
Yeah, I mean, like I try to balance it out with, watching or reviewing good movies that I know I enjoy, so that I'm not just constantly, reviewing things that I hate and being constantly negative, because it does bring you down if you get like that. You end up just getting really pessimistic about everything. But yeah, in terms of like the bigger picture, I think now, because it used to be, you go back a few years, it would just be the actual culture critics that would pick up on this stuff, and like general audiences were kind of oblivious to it because it was still relatively subtle. But now, like even they are cottoning on to it and realizing, no, this is garbage. Like what you're producing now, this is not what I want to see. And you can notice it. You notice it with the declining box office of various movies and various franchises as time goes by. Like people just tune out. It's not always an active revolt. They're not always enraged by something they've seen. They just get that general sense of, oh, I'm not enjoying this. This doesn't excite me the way it used to. They maybe can't put their fingers on why. They just know they don't want to see any more of it. And I think when that starts happening, then you're on the right side.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Love you, get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.